So we're talking about how to separate business from personal, how to identify tax deductible expenses that we kind of played around with that a little bit already, and how to set up a Schedule C chart of accounts. So I'm going to dig here. Let's start here on how to set up a Schedule C chart of accounts. And the one thing that I do want to tell you guys, right? When I actually demo this, I'm going to demo this in a QuickBooks Online, which is QuickBooks Plus. Okay, QuickBooks does have, and I actually should show this to you guys. They do have a self-employed QuickBooks software that's online, right? And the reason why I want to show this to you guys is because maybe this is going to be useful to someone, and you guys don't know that this is actually out here. Now, basically, this is different. Actually, this is not the right one. Let's go back. So, yeah, here we go. So this is QuickBooks Self-Employed. You know, we have some clients who actually use this, and they actually invite us in. The difference between this is a slimmed down version of QuickBooks Simple Start. The only challenge with this software, if you use QuickBooks Self-Employed, if you need to upgrade and go to a higher version of QuickBooks, it cannot be done automatically, okay? So I want you to keep that in mind. What's the difference between QuickBooks Self-Employed and regular QuickBooks Online? This does not provide you a balance sheet. So there's no balance sheet in QuickBooks Self-Employed. You also can't do reconciliations, right? But it is a really good tool for someone who just wants to actually put their transactions into QuickBooks and then be able to get a report that says, hey, this is what their income is. So this basically are able to give them what their estimated tax payments are and so on. It is a different piece of software, okay? Just want to make you guys aware, it's a different piece of software, and you can see what the pricing is, right? So self-employed, if you want the tax bundle, and so on. But it could be useful for you, or it could be useful for your clients. Just keep in mind, there is a self-employed. You cannot reconcile cash, okay? And you cannot produce a balance sheet. So if your clients need a balance sheet or you want to reconcile cash, don't need to, fine to use this. If they file a Schedule C, this is if they file a Schedule C. If they don't file a Schedule C, it's not really useful to use this, okay? So I wanted to do that. And now let's go into, this chart of accounts. What would I do if I was sitting in you guys' seat and one of my clients files a Schedule C? I would go to the IRS website and I would pull up a Schedule C. The reason why I would do this is, and I want to find the schedule for it because I want my chart of accounts to possibly be mirrored, should basically mirror what the IRS is going to ask for. Why? I want to start with the end in mind, right? I'm always starting with what output do I need? So if I create my QuickBooks chart of account based upon the form that I'm going to enter this information in, when it comes to the end or when tax season is, most of you guys will be able to file in January because you've been doing your bookkeeping based upon the Schedule C. Here's the other secret about this, right? You will hand over to your accountant or your CPA on a silver platter the numbers that he actually needs in the format that he needs it in to do your tax return. So what am I hitting at? That should save him some time, which hopefully would save you some money to get your taxes done, right? So I'm taking the approach of, hey, getting the Schedule C because I'm going to actually use that to do to create my chart of accounts. And let me see if I can actually find it. I don't want to look at a publication. I just want to look at the form. So here's my Schedule C for 2021, right? PDF. Usually when I'm on these calls, people ask me, hey, can I get a copy of that? You guys just saw how I did it, right? I didn't do anything special. And the way I'm going to actually set up my chart of accounts is based upon these line items with the names. Now, I am not telling you guys to set up every single one of these accounts, right? And let me give you an example. Your business probably has sales. So you are going to have an account for sales. But if your business does not have returns or allowances, don't create that chart of account. My suggestion is that you would actually look through this. You would highlight which one of these line items your client will use, or yourself, right? Because I'm not sure who's on the call, or yourself, which you would use. And if you use repairs and maintenance in your business, well, then add that into QuickBooks. If you use supplies, add that in QuickBooks. And look at the line items that's here. They're all here. The reason why we set the chart of accounts this way, when it comes to the end of the year, I can run a profit and loss that then I can just take those numbers and key them right into where they go on the return, because they are going to be created in the same format as the Schedule C. So here's my income line items. If I use these, put these in. Here's my expenses, use those. And then here's going to be my, my cost. If you use these costs here, and then anything that's going to be other. So anything of your other expenses will be here. And if you do that and set your chart of accounts like that, you're going to be way ahead of most people. So I'm going to go into this QuickBooks demo company, right? If I got to say this again, Sylvia, like, people should know this now. Like, we need to do a disclaimer before that just says, this is QuickBooks Test Drive, and the information I put in here, right, doesn't stay. But you guys can go in here and basically play around with QuickBooks, test things out. When you close out of it, right, that data is going to be gone. It's not going to be there for you anymore. And this is join the conversation. I want to go to the link that lets me get into QuickBooks Test Drive. And I don't want to use advanced. Let's see if this is right. No, I can't find it. This is Canada. QuickBooks Trust Drive. So basically, guys, what I'm doing the search for the QuickBooks Test Drive company, which it seems like they moved it. Let me try this one. It's here. I'm not a robot. And then I can kind of go into QuickBooks and kind of demonstrate to you guys what should be done. Geez, it is 1:04 already, Sylvia. I got to move this along. So what you guys got to do, right? You have your chart of accounts. So if you go down here to accounting and you go to chart of accounts, see your chart of accounts. This is the account that may have been set up before you. So you may have to do some maintenance work to edit these accounts, right? What I'm basically going to do is that if there's an account here that I don't need, in order for me to get rid of this account, I can just go here and make inactive. So I am basically going to create this chart of accounts to match my Schedule C that you saw from that document. And I'm going to create this accounts. In order to make an account inactive that you don't use, you can just click on the drop down, say make inactive. I'm in a test company, and then that item's actually inactive now, and it won't show up. It is still hidden. And all I'm going to do is just say new. So if one of my line items need to be an interest expense, I'm just going to actually say that that's an expense because that's what was on the form. And I'm going to name it the same line item as that Schedule C and then hit save. This I don't really worry about too much. There is a detail type here. I can put the interest paid, but I'm going to make sure I name this the same as my Schedule C. And I'm going to go through this, right, and do this up front and make all of these accounts here, my chart of accounts, the same as my Schedule C. And then I'm just going to post to those accounts. And when I'm actually posting to those accounts, at the end of the day, when I run my profit and loss report, that is going to give me my Schedule C activity. Okay? So that's all I'm doing is looking at my Schedule C from the IRS that you guys know how to get now. And I'm going to edit this chart of accounts, make whatever inactive, make new ones so that it matches it. And then I'm going to have a chart of accounts that mirrors the Schedule C. Okay? So that's one. But we have a big problem, right? And here's the big problem. And I'll spend about 7 minutes on this because we need to do some Q&A. The big problem is that whenever you have people that are Schedule C filers, they usually commingle, right? The big problem here, and I want to tell you guys this. We don't have a mentor moment today, but I just want to speak directly to you guys for a second. Don't allow your clients to commingle, right? That's the first rule. Make them have separate bank account from the business and their personal. I know some of you guys are going to tell me, oh, I can't do that. This client cuts me a check. I don't want to tell them what to do. If you want to have nice, clean set of books and not have to figure this out, tell them don't commingle. Set up a separate business account. It doesn't have to be any business name. Just set up a separate bank account and make that all business, right? And do all your activity on there. Set up a separate credit card and make that all business so that when you attach those items in QuickBooks, it's all business. And I hear you. You guys are going to say, we can't do that. I can't do that. I need to know how to split it out. Client's not going to listen to me. I'm going to show you how to do it today. But this is a problem for you in your business if you're doing this for someone else, right? You want to tell them, no, I'm not dealing with your co-mingling bookkeeping. But if you can't tell them that, I get it. I know they don't listen. So you're going to need to charge them more because they co-mingle. Because there's more transactions for their personal, which they can't deduct anyway, right? But, so let me show you how to do it for all you guys on this call who says that I have to do it, Will. I just have to. They're not going to listen to me, and I have to do it because I need to clean up their stuff. You tell them going forward they need to fix this. But if you can't do that, here's how we're going to do it, right? There's two ways. You guys should be aware there's different versions of QuickBooks. The one I'm using is Plus. All of you guys won't have Plus. Some of you guys will have Simple Start. Some of you guys will have Essentials. And when you have that, you don't have all of the functionality, okay? The one functionality that you have in every version of QuickBooks is tags. So I'm going to show you how to do this with tags, and I'm going to show you how to do this with classes. The reason why I'm showing you how to do it with tags, because everybody doesn't have QuickBooks Plus. So if I absolutely have to do this and the client bit my arm, the way I would actually treat this, I will actually set up tags. If you go to your banking screen and you have tags here, right, you notice that there's no tags. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to create a tag group, right? In this tag group, I'm going to put taxes, okay? That's just the taxes. That's just the group name that I'm actually naming because I need to actually, I'm going to call it tax deductible, right? Tax deductible. I'm making it up as I go along. Tax deductible, and I'm going to save that, okay? Come on, create my group. Create my group. Create my tag group. Okay, it doesn't like my group, so let me do this again. Okay, it won't let me do that there. Let me see what's going on. Let me do a new. Let me do a tag first. So I'm going to call this non-deductible. And I'm going to hit save. Ha! My tags won't work today. Why? You guys know this is live now. This is not recorded. Let me see if it'll work. Won't work here. Hold on. Let me go into my QuickBooks file to do this. Give me 1 second. QBO. Okay, so let me go into this old company I used to operate out of and see if I can do it here. All right, let me share my screen. All right, cool. So I'm in a different company file because in the test company it would not work for me. So I'm going to go here to banking, and I'm going to go to tags, and I'm going to say new tag, and I'm going to say tag group, and I'm going to say tax deductible. Right, so there, that creates my group, and then what I want to do is say, I would say not deductible. I should name this differently. And then I will say tax deductible. Okay, so basically what I did, I created a group and I created 2 tags underneath. what this gives me the ability to do, it gets me to post if this is deductible expense, or is this a not deductible expense, or if this is a deductible expense. So now when I go to post my transactions into QuickBooks, I can segment this information to see it. So if I go up to banking and I go to my banking screen, oh, I don't freaking, this is my real company. I don't have any transactions in here. So if I had banking screens, I can see the tag in it, right? Because I have no transactions here. I'm just going to do new, and I'm going to actually put in an expense, okay? And I'm going to call this 7-Eleven, okay? What you notice here, I have to give it the category here, so I'm just going to call this meals. But maybe this was actually a meal that I had that was actually, because I wanted to go to 7-Eleven, right? Had nothing to do with business. So here, I'm going to say this is not deductible. So by me classifying this as not deductible, I can run a report to see that. What you have to do when you commingle, you have these clients that's commingle, every transaction you have to say if it's deductible or if it's not deductible, so you can run that report at the end of the year. So I'm going to say save and new, right? I want to do one more so you guys can actually see this. And then also let me just pay 99-cent articles, and this was advertising, right? And this advertising promotion, this one was tax deductible. So I'm going to save that, and let's just make this one $500. So all I'm doing, every transaction, I'm going in and say if it's tax deductible or not tax deductible. Then what I have the ability to do, I can run a report. I can go to my profit and loss report, and I can actually say this year, right, because it's the year I'm doing my tax return, and then I want to say show me the tax deductible group, and I can run that report. And what you would actually get this side will be all of the expenses that are non-deductible that your client did, and this side will be tax deductible. Okay, so that's one way of doing it, but commingling causes problems. If you guys notice, the only issue with this is that when you use tags, right, and your client, right, because I know clients do this, part of this expense was for business and part of it was personal. Tags is limited because you only can tag one transaction, right? So let's say this both was advertising, but part of it was personal, part of it's not. I don't have the ability with tags to classify this. So all I can do is put this to one item, and this whole charge is going to be tax deductible. That's the limitation that we have with tags, okay? How do we solve that? If you guys have QuickBooks Plus, you can do the same thing, but you can use classes. So in classes, I can split out one transaction if it's taxable or not. So here I can do the same thing, but this I can say taxable or deductible as a class and save it. And I can say this is non-deductible. So if I use classes, it's a better way because I can split out every single line item on an invoice or an expense. With tags, I only can do it for one transactions. So if your persons are co-mingler, and not only do they use one account for everything, but half of it's personal, half of it's business is the same charge, you will need to use classes to actually get there, right? So same thing, I can run my reports, and when I run a profit and loss report, I can say break this out by classes, run that report for this year, and this time when I actually do that, this year, I can actually see what's deductible and what's not deductible, and you notice on this one, I basically was able to split that one transaction. Where in this Mills Entertainment, it's based upon a tag, and I can't split that. So, if you guys cannot get your clients to not commingle, that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have additional posting to do that, but then you can run a report that says tax or non-tax. And Sylvia, I know I took up too much time. But let's go to Q&A.